Hey everybody, come on in. We're trying something. Hey Paul, we're trying something out. I optimized my settings. I did everything I could do. I sat here and I watched it run without being live for 15 minutes. No problems, no glitches, no nothing. Now we're live. I'm still getting solid green bars on my settings. Everything should be good. I'm only streaming to 2 platforms. I cut it back to 2. And there's a purpose behind this stream. Hey Paul. Paul's got his top fan badge. I like to see that you're wearing that with honor, sir. It's well earned. You deserve it. Um, Share at your own risk. I'm gonna keep going. Even if it glitches, even if it freezes, I'm gonna keep going until I'm completely done. This is a subscription drive for my YouTube channel. There is some policy changes coming to YouTube December 10th, and one of them is, well, at least in the verbiage, it seems worded that if you're under 1,000 subs and not monetized, which you can't be monetized till you're at 1,000 subs. Hey Steve, they can pull your channel. So will they? Mine? Probably. Yeah. It might get pulled anyway. I've noticed they've already tightened up restrictions on YouTube. Things are already getting a little tighter over there. But I want to get it to 1,000 subscribers. So I put, hey Herbert, Herbert's here on YouTube. I put the YouTube link in the comments. It's the very first comment on this stream on Facebook. Come to the YouTube channel and share it and subscribe if you haven't already. Then you can come back to Facebook and hang out. I don't want you to leave and stop hanging out with me on Facebook. But Steve says me and Ginger don't get a badge. Paul gave himself that badge. That's not a badge. You all have badges. Badges. We don't need no stinking badges. Hey Ginger. Yeah, Ginger was here earlier at the burn. We had a crash out session on the burn. I don't know why. I try real hard to be as professional as possible. Now, this isn't the new computer. We have a new computer coming. Hey, Jeff, it's almost done. It's being built for us. Um, We raised money for this computer, but it's being built for what I need it for. It's going to be perfect for streaming, so I'll have all my bases covered soon. Soon as he gets these final parts in, I finish paying him. So, like a week or two, we'll have the new computer. And I got to get the wiring, will be hardwired into the internet, so it's going to be a lot smoother. Things will be a lot better. But Herbert says he's lonely on YouTube. Okay, so check out the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is amazing because I put a lot of work into it. It really is something I'm super proud of at this point. At first I was kind of fiddling around and it was a little hobby, but I've been taking it seriously for a long time. I'm really proud of what I've built over there, and I'd hate to see it pulled. It's 3 years worth of work. You know what I mean? Plus, it was one of my main goals. It's been my goal for 3 years to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 912. Can you imagine having the rug pulled out from under you when you're that close to getting your goal? All I want to do is hit 1,000 subs. They can pull me after 1,000 subs. I'd hate to not hit a goal after getting that close to it and all the work that I put in to get to that goal. So a lot of you have been here with me ever since the beginning. So if YouTube's going out, if it's going out, let's let it go out with a bang. Let me hit 1,000 subs. So we're just going to hang out, talk about anything and everything that you guys want. This is basically going to be a Yankee show. Yankee show may come back. This is Yankee show's regular night anyway. But this isn't an official Yankee show because I have no agenda. We are going to go 100% off the comments. I'm going to freestyle every bit of this. This is a fun subscriber drive for my YouTube channel. I want to try to keep it alive. So I'm going to do all I can to drive some subscribers over there and draw some attention. Plus, I needed to do a feed because I needed to make sure that I got the settings fixed. And they look a lot better. YouTube has not messed up yet. We're 7.5 minutes in. And Facebook looks like it's consistent. I haven't noticed it messing up, but everything seems good. So, hey Jennifer, good to see you. Paul says top fan. YouTube said they can take pages down for not being attractive to commercial companies. Ben Swan did a story on it. Yeah, they can take them down for a lot of different reasons, but Facebook can throttle you out for the same reasons. The truth is being suppressed and killed off in real time, and this is happening. It's terrifying. It really is. It's terrifying what's happening. And the reason why it's happening is they're losing control. The people are waking up, and there is a mass awakening happening. And they're trying to put a stop to it. So we have to do all we can to get all we can out of what we have before we lose it. Facebook is throttling the hell out of anyone trying to share things to do with the political revolution or any of the things like Medicare for all or spread truth about anything like that. They're jailing them for just sharing to their regular groups. Just for doing their regular Facebook routine. Like, I don't do anything different. I share to the same people in the same groups every show, pretty much. Unless I forget to share. So, which happens. But I get jailed. Oh, you overshared. You got to go to sharing jail. Like, go stand in your corner. And like, look, they're not messing with us. It's not cute. Everybody, you're in your stripes, and people talk about it on Facebook. They're like, "Oh, I did a stretch in Facebook jail." It's not cute, guys. We're tolerating this. I talk about it on the burn, on every burn, basically, but that we tolerate this stuff. We allow it to be our reality. We don't have to. We don't have to let this greed-driven, survival of the fittest society continue on. We can make changes to it. We can rebuild it and make it better if we own it. Now, this isn't political. This isn't my political show. I'm not going to get political on you. But we've got to do this. We can't expect anything to happen if we don't own it and do all we can to make something happen. And we've got to defend the truth. The truth is being killed off and eliminated. This is happening, and it's corporations doing it, but it doesn't matter. It's censorship no matter how you slice it. And they're eliminating the truth. Truth is being killed off. Anybody that's a dissenting voice is being suppressed and throttled, and they're coming up with new rules and ways to pull stuff. And like this, for example, what could happen to my YouTube channel on December 10th. It at least looks like it probably will happen to it. I hope not, though. Could be fear mongering. A lot of truther channels are freaking out. You know, I put a lot of work into it. I'd hate to see it come down. So the very first comment in this thread on my Facebook is the link to the YouTube channel. Come and subscribe and share it. Share videos from it. Let's help get it to 1,000 subscribers before it gets pulled down. And hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully that's not anything we need to worry about. James says, I'm trying to help. I called in on a show last night and dropped your channel and Ruby Ridge show. Whoa. Thank you, dude. 90 peeps, come on. Yeah. We just need 90 people. That's it. And we can get to the threshold level of what at least they say helps a channel be safe. Because it's kind of like going to college and then not being able to get a job. Like, how do you get to 1,000 subscribers if you get pulled for not having 1,000 subscribers? It don't make any sense. But we're really close. We have a lot of good content over on YouTube. And we just need to keep these truth channels alive. They're trying to close them off and shut them down. But what do you guys think we need to talk about? What's something you want to get into? Because this needs to be a sampling of what people can expect. So this is kind of a Yankee show. So it's a little bit of everything. But everything that I do centers around trying to spread and share the truth. That's what's most important to me. That's what I care about. And I'm seeing it die. I'm seeing it get killed off in real time. And it's being eliminated. And I don't know what to do. I'm swinging in the dark. I'm doing the best I can. Like, I'm doing these little shows. I'm trying to wake people up in this fight that we're in, this political revolution currently. Whether you believe in that or not, it's happening. It's going on. You can take part in it or not. I'm not going to get into any of that right now. But there is a show called The Daily Burn at 7 every day, and you can stop in. Very, very positive towards the political revolution because I know that's what needs to happen. Something like that, something in that shape or form. The people have to rise up. That's the simplest way to put it. The people have to come together. The people have to put a stop to all of this. We're allowing it to happen. We're letting it happen. There's so many things that I have freed up time in my schedule to be able to research better now. There's so many things that people have sent me that I've been looking through, and a lot of it is just disgusting, and it only goes on because we're kept from the truth. We do live in a matrix. We live in a literal matrix. Reality is hidden from the average person. They have no idea what's going on. They don't have any concept of what's real and what's true. All they have is what comes out of that flickering box in their living room, And that thing is nothing but lies. It's a weapon. It's used against us. I'm going to see what you guys have been saying. It looks like there was a conversation going on. Herbert says, I read earlier the Department of Justice is pushing charges against the guard who fell asleep. Cough, cough. Oh, for Epstein? That is ridiculous, right? And did you see Australia's 60 Minutes? Mainstream media in Australia did a huge expose, the whole hour, on Epstein. It's amazing. Uh, Recently, look it up. You know, other countries, they don't have, as rose-colored a view of what goes on in reality in America. They're more exposed to some of the stuff behind the curtain that the average American is kept from entirely. They're not aware of at all. I've been on Russian social media. I started streaming to VK in order to get out to more people. And I started streaming to a Russian social media site. It's amazing, by the way. It's crazy. You got to check it out. It is almost all about truth. And it's all, stuff about Israel and Gaza and what's going on there and, you know, Epstein and Julian Assange and just everything. And I'm amazed by it. And truth seems to be received very well, even when it's like American stuff that's not really relevant to them. And there's a lot of Americans on it. I got turned on to it from an article saying that it was only for the far right leaning people, but it was a streaming site that was catching on. So I looked into it and joined it. And I don't find that it's for far right people. I find it's for truthers. And maybe they're trying to categorize truthers as far right, but it seems very friendly to truthers, at least so far. I don't know what their policies are on censorship. I am a little uncomfortable with the fact that I saw at least do an alert on VK that they're connected in some way with Google as far as being a Chrome extension goes. I don't know what that means, but I guess it would be a pipe dream to expect to have found something that is unplugged from the mainstream media that is an actual viable platform to move to. But Epstein thing is ridiculous, and they also got into in the expose and other. Oh, first time we've crashed. Facebook just crashed. YouTube did as well. So that one came from me. That one was from my end. So that was a legit skip. But it happened in OBS, and that's a free service that I use. I'm gonna do a paid once I get the new computer. I'm gonna get a better streaming. I'm gonna pay for better streaming. But you know, all of that is a money pit. And if you want to help support the shows, there's no links in this to do that, but there are ways to support the shows. I have a Patreon, and what that is a crowdfunding site where you can support people that have podcasts and independent shows like mine and things like that at different levels. Like you commit to $1 a month or $5 a month or whatever. And you donate that every month automatically and you're a subscriber to the show. And what that does is it not only helps with things, the financial costs of running the show, etc., but it also helps to reinstate in me that people actually believe in what I'm doing and support it. Like I only have two patrons, and I am so proud of that. I look at it twice, 2 to 3 times a day at least, and I just love staring at it. The two people believe in me enough to have sat there and gave out their card number and said, I'm going to give $5 a month because I love what Sean's doing and I want him to keep doing it. And I want to be a part of helping with that. So Ginger is a supporter. Ginger's here on Facebook. If you want to be a supporter too and support the shows that I'm doing, you can on Patreon. And then I also have a PayPal because some people aren't comfortable with a subscription. They'd rather just do a quick little, I call it a high five, but you can do anything you want on there too. But I didn't link that stuff in this feed. This was mostly just to give an idea what you get out of the shows that we do. There could be a rant, we could get into anything because I'm going to go off the comments and I'm catching up with them. I have a bad habit of reading while I talk, but we're going to look into everything you guys want to get into and hang out for a little while. But I want to get my YouTube to 1,000 subscribers, and the very first comment is my YouTube link. Johnny says hello, everyone. Hey, Johnny. Da, 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 da. Ginger says Paul's badge rocks. He changed his badge to the turd emoji, which I liked it. I don't know. I just don't like the turd emoji, is what it is. Did you know that I read that supposedly started off as an ice cream emoji? That's what that's supposed to be, is ice cream emoji. Isn't that weird? But of course we did it all messed up. Oh, now you've got a trophy. My phone is caught up better. I'm gonna look at it. It's easier to look at comments on my phone. Herbert says, how do you become a patron? You go to patreon.com and then I don't have my link in the description. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I think it's / or / Sean Yankee. It's just my name. And then that takes you to my Patreon page, and then it gives you options on how to support the show, and you can join at different levels. And I'll add the link in the comments after the feed. But, oh, right on. That's cool. Bernie would be a good person to give to as well. We do need to support this revolution. I think even if you're not even fully invested in it, you should at least donate. We got to do something. Even if you don't fully agree with it, there is a revolution happening in this country right now. It's being hidden, but it's happening. We could win. We could upturn their whole apple cart and make real change. Steve says my income fluctuates a lot, but we'll see. Dude, whatever you share and come to the feeds, you're an awesome supporter. There is a lot of ways to support something, and every little thing helps, all of it. So you do so much, for real, and I see you out there all the time. You're a great supporter, Steve. I love having you at the feeds and having you hang out with me and all of that. That means something to me too. I tagged a lot of people in this on Facebook, and I don't do that very often because I don't like to be a bother, and I don't want to be bothersome with it. I feel like if the show's good, people will come and watch it. You know what I mean? So I usually don't tag people. But I didn't share it at all. I did that on purpose, and I only tagged because I miss you guys. I've been getting throttled so much and been having so many technical difficulties. I haven't been able to get the exchange that we usually have. That's the other thing that you get by following the shows and from the shows that I do. They may be about different things, but they always involve interaction. And eventually, I want to get to taking phone calls and being able to take phone calls on the show and do a lot cooler things. But let me see if anybody's here on YouTube yet. I haven't checked in with YouTube in a while. And why won't it even load? Oh. No, everybody's on Facebook. Come to YouTube if you've never been and just look around. The feed's in the link in the comments. You can come after. James says we have 3 weeks. I picked 12 guys under 1,000 subs, and 2 years ago, you're the only one that hasn't broke 1,000. But Mandela was held back too, but finally made it. And Mandela guy, you said. Oh, okay. I made a wildly popular for my channel. Wildly popular. It broke 60,000 YouTube views. Mandela video, and then I made, because it was so popular and because I love it. I love the Mandela effect. And so I made like 5 more. Every one of them got throttled. They didn't catch on. I have to, someone is beating on my door. I have to go find out what this is. I will be right back. Okay, that was super weird because there wasn't anybody out there. They were banging on the door like the cops. I thought the cops were here. I'm surprised that the mic wasn't picking it up. It was really loud. I don't know. Maybe it'll happen again. It's probably some kids. It's someone said Hillary. Yeah, it could have been. I said on a feed recently, I said if something happens to me, I am not suicidal. I do not have suicidal thoughts, and I do not plan on causing any harm to myself. I just want to spread the truth and hang out with you guys and talk, and get and figure out a way to make that my profession, hanging out with you guys and making videos for you and talking. Steve says the FBI. I thought so, but on the way they were knocking, it's probably just kids running and playing. But who knows? Ginger says I changed the quantity of my donations and also changed who I'd like to donate to. Oh yeah. Yeah, you just I understand all of that. That makes sense to me. And I'm a little uncomfortable with even having a Patreon, but I want to do this professionally. And I feel like I can bring value to you in the form of entertainment. I feel like I can contribute. So I feel like there is value there. But I don't like it. But I don't want to have ads. Not that I would get them. Nobody's going to put ads on the things that I talk about. It's not popular. It's not mainstream. And I may get pulled for that, you know, for not being mainstream, not talking about regular, accepted, establishment approved and stamped garbage. Nissa asked a question about Tom Hanks. I'll tell you this much. I don't know the answer to the one you asked, but they're playing him up like he is Fred Rogers. He's playing Mr. Rogers in a movie. Let's slow our roll. Have you seen Tom Hanks' son? He's obviously not a very good father, even. He's a very good actor. I like him as an actor. But let's all just go ahead and accept that we don't know Tom Hanks. And Henry Winkler happens to say that Tom Hanks is quite a jerk. That was the nicest way I could think to put it. But he doesn't even have a good reputation with his interaction with fans in real life. So, I don't know. It's not looking good for Tom Hanks. I don't know if the answer to that question. It's not outside the realms of possibilities. He's connected to the types of people that are. You'd be amazed. The list of people involved, just the people involved and tied to Jeffrey Epstein, for example, would amaze the average person and blow them away. You'd never believe it if you weren't ready. Steve says the Mr. Rogers movies looks creepy. I don't like that they're doing it, but they're selling Tom Hanks as like Captain Wholesome. I don't know about that. I don't know about all that. Paul says, probably trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Or repo it. The way they were knocking, I thought it was the cops for real. I did. I thought maybe somebody had complained. I have neighbors. I hardly ever put my dog outside, but she's got to go outside every once in a while, and she likes to bark. There's other dogs around. She wants to talk to them. They have things that they need to discuss. I really don't know what's going on. I don't speak dog, but they bark, right? She's a dog. There's not much you can do about it. I leave her out for maybe 15, 20 minutes, bring her back in. People complain. So I thought maybe somebody had complained about the dog barking, and because it sounded like a cop knock. Kathy says, "Good evening. How are you? Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Kathy, if you haven't already. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before December 10th, because I'm worried they're going to pull my channel if I don't get monetization. That seems to be one of the things that puts you in the safe zone, even though I don't think I'll ever fully be in the safe zone. I would like to at least hit my goal, and that's been my goal for like 3 years, to get to 1,000. Steve says Keanu's a good guy, and Helen says, "Am I the only one that remembers all the weird stuff with Keanu in the 90s and now he's untouchable? I like him, but it's weird." Yeah, no, there's a lot there. You're right. Helen's right. And now it is kind of weird but he is a really great guy and has really great philosophy on life. And you can change and evolve, and I do think past behavior should be forgiven. A lot of times we want to latch on to something somebody does wrong. It's possible to change, but it is a little weird. You know, I see what you're saying there. Kathy says you're well and subscribed. Then you're double well because you're subscribed to pretty much the best channel on YouTube, and it would be a damn shame for it to get pulled. I hope that doesn't happen. It's probably a lot of fear mongering. All the channels I watch though, they're all up in arms about it, and they should be. We all should be. They're throttling us. They are hiding it under the guise of trying to make it more family friendly. Blah blah blah. Da da da. But you control these avenues of sharing information. There is no other way to do it. You're the only game in town. So when you pull the rug out, then it's just gone. And then there will be no truth. Jeff says Michael Bloomberg is in the Epstein Black Rolodex book. The names tied to Epstein would blow your mind. It's a greatest hits list of powerful elite predators. That's what they are, is predators. We call them elite, but they're predators. They're the predator class. That's what they really are. Parasites. Johnny says, with the current censorship going on now, all progressive activists need to support one another. It is essential that we develop progressive networks. You're right. Ginger says, I don't speak dog. They have things they need to discuss. No, they do. They talk, I don't understand being mad at a dog barking. There's a dog, it's her best friend. He's right down the street. His name's Duke. And every time I walk her, she's got to pee in Duke's yard. Every time. They talk to each other. They have their own ways of communicating. We don't understand it. So I really don't know what they're doing when they're barking. I know what you're doing when you complain about it. You're being an asshole. She deserves to be able to be outside every once in a while. And I'm not going to put one of them collars on her that shocks her when she barks. Just because I have an oversensitive neighbor. Because anytime the cops have been called about her, they'll come and they'll be like, well, they're concerned. It's cold out. I'm like, dude, she's been out there for 15 minutes. She's got to go outside. That's her bathroom and her dog time. That's her time to be Bama. In here, she's got to be good. She ain't allowed to do certain things, can't climb on stuff. Outside, she can do pretty much anything she wants to do. Steve speaks a little dog. That's impressive. I think Timmy on Lassie must have spoke a little dog. I never understood what Lassie was saying. Steve says Keanu is most excellent. Glad he found someone. She has gray hair. So what? Gray hair. Oh, I don't know what that's about. Um, Keanu's married. I didn't know that. Or he's with someone. I didn't know anything about that. Kathy says there's some crap going on that isn't forgivable. Pedophilia has only one cure: guillotines. A lot of this is cured by guillotines. I see us joking around about that a lot, but it's true. Uh, these people are disgusting. They're monsters. I have a little show called Conspiracy Theories and Chill, and that's one of the things you'll get when you subscribe to me on Things and Stuff on YouTube. And on that show, we talk about all the reality of the situation behind the curtain. It's called Conspiracy Theories and Chill, but if you watch it, you'll find that most of what we talk about is true and verifiable. I hardly ever cover conspiracies. We did Flat Earth. You know what I mean? But most of this stuff's real. Even 9/11. 9/11 is a topic that I could go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about, and I think it's an important one, and one I do go on and on and on about. But even that, I forgot what I was going to say. Chris knows a couple really important things going on right now too. So bring those up, Chris. I want you to remind me to get into that, because the Equifax hack is something that everyone seems to have forgotten about. Even though they did their little settlement and all that, it all still's out there. All that information. So that's a big deal, and something Chris is wanting me to research more into. There is so much stuff. Like a real good friend that I've met recently, Liz, has sent me a ton on GMOs. I almost need to be a scientist. Like I've been I've been trying to go through a lot of it. It's complicated. And then Ginger sent me some fantastic stuff. A lot of people have. Herbert sent me some good stuff. Uh, I appreciate that stuff. James says the history of TV would be a good topic. You're right, that would be a good topic. Kathy says guillotines are no joke. We need to bring them back in a big way. I laugh, but it ain't funny. I don't mean it in that way. I'm not making fun of it. I'm serious. These people it needs to stop. The only thing that's going to stop it is the people uniting and moving forward united and stopping it. I hope that there's a way to do that peacefully. That's why I'm supporting what I'm supporting currently. But if that fails, I will still be supporting us moving forward united and standing and demanding this. We have to do this. This is all our job. And no matter what we end up doing, it's going to be us that does it or no one does it. We need to fully own this 100%. Chris says, sure thing. Oh, look at this. For anybody strange, look at this. This is great. Thank you for sharing that, Chris. But that hack, that's massive. News just stopped talking about it. They want to bury all that kind of stuff. They don't want it out there. Nissa says that he's dating a lady with gray hair, that she thinks it's fake because she thinks he's gay. I've never heard that about him. About Keanu Reeves? Has anybody else heard that as a rumor about Keanu? I mean, it's totally fine if he is, but I just never heard that about him. Ever. Not once. I know he's very respectful in pictures and stuff. Like, he doesn't touch people. You look at his hands in a lot of pictures. But Kathy says public hangings are also an option. Yeah, because guillotines, you're going to run out of those. And, we want to be as efficient as possible. James says TV programming. It's called programming for a reason. There's a lot of truth in humor. And there's a lot of truth in comedy. And there's a lot of truth in that joke. It's called programming for a reason. Helen says, you never heard about him and David Geffen. Uh-uh. No, never. You know what, though? I wasn't big into any of this stuff back then. In the 80s, or when he'd have been really popular back when I think you're talking about anyway. Or how old is this? How out of touch am I? Chris says he's the coolest guy. Nissa says the gays say he is. He's dating an older woman, Chris says. She's younger than him, like 8 years. I don't know anything about Keanu, honestly. I can't speak on it. I obviously don't even know that there was I guess, a relationship between him and David Geffen. That's weird. Younger, so Steve and Nissa say that younger than him. As long as he's not hurting anybody, I don't think it's any of anybody's business, any of our business, what's going on in his love life. But Ginger says didn't see the Chase leak. Yeah, Chris is big into spreading truth about that Equifax leak and the Equifax hack and all that stuff. And a lot of these things that we need to stay worried about. There's a ton of stuff. Sorry. A dog just ran in the room and then ran back out. There's a ton of stuff we need to be concerned about and educating ourselves about. So much. I had to clear my plate. I was doing too much. I was trying to do 5 shows. And I can run my mouth that much, but I can't stay that informed. So I needed like 3 days for research and like 2 days for doing streams. But I'm still catching up. I have so much to go through. Nissa says 9 years younger and she's pretty. Oh, I'm sure. And so what if she has gray hair? Gray hair is sexy. I got gray hair in here. I'm going gray. I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna own it. I'm not gonna fight it like I've been fighting this cigarette. 40 minutes though. Made it 40 minutes. Hey girl. My dog's all revved up about something. I don't know what's going on with her. Nissa says vote. Vote. Vote or die. You ever seen that South Park? I know people think it's crazy that, oh, you can't vote your way out of a rigged election. You can overwhelm it though. Well, if voting wasn't important, there wouldn't be 20 people running for Democratic president nominee. They wouldn't care. If they could just pick their nominee in the back room, they'd have 3 people up there. And one of them, they just pick one instead of Bernie. Why do they need 20? Why does Bloomberg need to enter the race? It matters. They're trying to break us up and divide us into little groups, keep us easily manageable. It matters. The only thing that doesn't matter about it is when you don't do it. Ginger says make it 4 hours at work. 4 hours at work. Oh, maybe I think I know what you're talking about. Like said, the research time. That's what I've been doing. So when I would have done a show on Monday night, I treat it as a part-time job. So I work mandatory overtime at my regular job. So I work 6 days a week there, and then in my off time every evening, Monday through Friday now, I set aside like about 4 hour, 5 hour chunk. I use that to catch up on research for things. And then I do conspiracy theories and chill Wednesday nights at 9 or 8. And then I guess Yankee show. I don't know. Something on Fridays. I don't know what it's going to be. It was going to be Yankee Rants, but I did one last night. I think that Yankee Rants needs to be more sporadic. Just something that I can do anytime. I like hanging out with you guys though, so maybe we'll keep Yankee show. Because I like being able to hang out and I like being able to talk about whatever I want. I'm a little ADHD, So I like that this is freeform and I'm just going off the comments. I don't have a real agenda other than to get my YouTube up to 1,000 subscribers. Oh, no. Ginger says no, 4 hours without a smoke break. I understand the logic in that, but it's a stage fright thing as well. So it has something to do with that. Like there's an anxiety involved in performing. And this is an excuse, but everything that is made up to support an addiction is. But there's an anxiety level in performing, and it eases me. I'm used to being able to smoke while I do comedy, and any time I've done anything in entertainment, I've been able to smoke during it. So it's just a habit. The whole thing is a habit, though. But I don't know. I've also had people tell me I should just do it, just smoke, and they didn't care. What? What do you want? All right, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. But she had to go outside. She was barking at me, and I speak that much dog. I know at least when the dog barks at me, it's time to take her outside. Now the neighbors can complain, but she's got to go outside. Steve says research the history of LSD. It's interesting. I bet it is. Um, I've experimented only once though. I've only had one why am I going blank on this word? One experience. There we go. Easy. With LSD. You know what I'm wanting to try? And I'm kind of ashamed of myself that I'm this easily influenced. But because of Terrence McKenna and Joe Rogan, DMT. Curious as hell about it. I was curious about ayahuasca because Robin from Howard Stern did it. And she told a story about it. And I'd heard about it from a couple other people. And I was curious about that. But they say you're sick the whole time. You know, that doesn't sound like anything I want to do. But Kathy says, go ahead and smoke. I know I am. And Herbert says it's 420 somewhere. You see what I'm saying? They used to smoke on TV even. People say it's unprofessional. But when they were trying to sell cigarettes and they were trying to get everybody addicted, it wasn't unprofessional. It was encouraged. But if you're here on YouTube, there's still one person here on YouTube. Go ahead and comment. Anything you guys want to get into, we can talk about absolutely anything. So, Ginger says LSD only once. What's wrong with you? Um, Bad connections, uh, unambitious friends. I only had the one opportunity. I got it one other time, but it turned out it was nothing. They had been sold Smarties with acid on them that were actually Smarties. And so I did 2 Smarties once, and then I also did acid once, or LSD. And then the only other, Chris says DMT is amazing, very natural, extremely intense. All right, now I have to do it. See, I'm so easily influenced, but I want to. I am into the idea of experimenting with your mind. Your mind is infinitely powerful and extremely interesting. And these substances allow you to unlock other levels of reality. People can say that your mind is altered, that you're just thinking differently because you're high or whatever. You're seeing different things. You're experiencing different levels of reality. That's what's happening.
Are they done?
No. Take her out.
Inside?
Yeah, put her out for a little while.
Okay.
Kathy says, I've never done LSD, but I adore magic shrooms. I have only done shrooms 3 times, and every time they made my joints hurt. I liked it during, but it always made me hurt. Is that just me? Was that just a weird response that I had to it? Steve says Midwest Grow Kids. You've got cornfields, Ginger knows. Yeah, Ginger says mescaline is where it's at though. Never a bad trip. Never had that either. Um, Psychedelic is that's what it is, right? Helen says that kind of scares me. There's shit living in my head that doesn't need emboldened. Oh, definitely. Oh, and I didn't have a bad experience. I only had the one experience, but I've heard it can go south. I've heard it can go sideways real bad. So, you know what I'm afraid to do, but Joe Rogan talks about a lot, and it sounds very interesting, is sensory deprivation chambers. The sensory deprivation tanks. That sounds really interesting. Kathy says I may be allergic to the shrooms. So that would be an allergic reaction, the joint aching. That sucks because I liked them. And, the friend of mine that turned me on to him raved about him, but I hurt after every time. Chris says, just like we have cannabinoid receptors, our bodies are built for it. We all have THC in our system. I read an article just today, actually, Chris, that women produce cannabinoids in their breast milk that helps encourage hunger in babies. Isn't that crazy? That's an interesting little fact. Cannabis is a miracle plant. Cannabis is here for humanity, for me, for you. We're all supposed to enjoy it. And it's a crime against humanity that it's illegal at the federal level, at any level. It's for me and you, for us to enjoy. Chris says, I'd say ease into psychedelics. Start with shrooms. Acid, DMT is for pros. Intense. I would ease into it for sure. But I'm a pro. What are you trying to say? I'm soft? You think I'm soft, don't you, Chris? I'll swell up on you. No, I would ease into it for sure. Chris says research, know what you're up for. Oh, for that definitely would. But the sensory deprivation tanks, do you think you could take that? I don't think I could. That's where I wouldn't want to be. I don't want to be alone with my demons in a sensory deprivation tank. I don't even like getting in the tub and putting your ears under the water. You know what I mean? And isn't that the way you are the whole time in the sensory deprivation tank? But Chris says that's actually why I prefer mescaline. I'm a lightweight. Oh, mescaline's a lower version of the DMT. Are they similar? Like a similar. Is it similar to LSD or its own experience? Is it just completely different? Like if I've done shrooms and LSD, would I even know what mescaline is like? Could it even be explained to me? Or is it just something that if I hadn't experienced it, you can't even tell me what it is? Kathy says, I've known about the breast milk deal. My kids nursed for 2 years apiece. I tried to get my wife to do it, but she didn't do it. She tried it, but I don't think she tried it very hard. She didn't put a whole lot of effort to it. If she wanted it to work, she could have made it happen. Some people can't, but she could have. She didn't want to do it. And I really wanted her to. Chris says you can pull the plug at any time. Oh, on what? Pull the plug on what? I babble on, Chris. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. So, Steve says they say Santa Claus' origin is red Siberian mushrooms and DMT elves. That's interesting. I'd never heard that. There is a gnat flying around. Earlier I tried to smash it on the computer screen, but it is driving me crazy. Salvia, what is that? You know, I'm such a baby with I don't know about any of these. Salvia. I've heard that before. I don't know what it is though. I think I'm neat now that I know there's different strains of marijuana. Forever I didn't know that, and I've loved marijuana since I was a teenager. I was all about. I thought I was a scientist once I found out that there was sativa and indica and what each did, and that you could like have hybrids and you know. Thought I was super smart. I was Bill Nye the Science Guy when I figured that stuff out. I can pull the plug on the sensory deprivation chain. Oh, okay. So there's like a safe out, like you can get out. There'd have to be. Get out when you like. Okay, good. So you're not trapped. Ginger says mescaline is from the peyote plant. So that's that stuff that in the Jim Morrison movie, in the Doors movie, that he was out in the desert doing was mescaline. And is a naturally occurring psychedelic alkaloid of the substitutes. This big word class, known for its hallucinogenic effects. And Steve says, I think salvia is legal, but I don't know much about it. There's something that's sold at smoke shops around where I live called Kratom. I don't have any idea what that is, but there's people that rave about it. They try to sell it to me when I go in there to buy cigarettes, and they sell it right over the counter, right next to the CBD stuff. Kathy says, give her a break. Nursing is not for everyone. After a while, it becomes a chore if you're not into it. You only say to give her a break because you don't know her, Kathy. I was married to her for 10 years. If you knew her a little better, you would realize she's had enough breaks. I'm just kidding. That's my kid's mother. Come on now, Sean. She's cool. We just didn't get along. Chris says you smoke salvia. It's a bit fruity, totally legal. It hits you like a brick, makes you giggly. You get visuals. You're put in about 10 to 15 minutes. Huh. Totally legal. I wonder where you get it. I'd be interested in trying it. My son is here. I'm not interested in trying it. Bad drugs are bad. Stay in school. It's cool to stay in school. I wish I'd have stayed in a little more school. I was thinking that at work today. I was at work today because I got a regular job like everybody else, and I had to go to the bathroom, and I have to ask, and then wait for permission. 43 years old. I was standing there today like I really had to pee, and I'm waiting, because I work in customer service, and we were busy, and I gotta go. So it is going to become a situation here real soon, and I'm sitting there thinking, man, I'm grown. I gotta go to the bathroom. Like I gotta ask somebody that's 20 years younger than me if I can go to the bathroom, and then I gotta wait for him to tell me that I can go to the bathroom to go. Like I'm like, man, I gotta pee. I had to pee when I told you I did. I'm grown. When I say I need to go to the bathroom, it's time to go to the bathroom. If I could wait till break, I would wait. I don't like having to explain my bodily functions in adult situations. It's uncomfortable. Chris says I want to try ayahuasca. It doesn't scare you, all the sickness. They say you're just sick for hours and just for days, but you're tripping the whole entire time. I don't know. It sounds really uncomfortable. Herbert says you can always go back to school. I know, and I'm gonna. You ever seen Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield? I'm definitely going back to school. Going back to school is cool, and that's what it's all about. But I'm gonna be rich when I do it because that looked amazing. And I want Paulie from Rocky to be my bodyguard when I go too. He's, he better still be alive. If someone knows that he's dead, don't tell me that because I don't want to hear it. Steve says kratom helps people kick heroin. Wait a minute. So why are they trying to sell it to me when I buy cigarettes then? Ginger says not that 20-year-old's fault. 20-year-old. Man, I must have said something stupid. Hey, Cynthia. Hey, Rolf. Not that 20-year-old's fault. I don't know what I said. Hey, Cindy. Good to see you. Ginger says Giggly is good. Giggly is great. Giggly is fan. I'm a big fan of Giggly. I like being happy. I like things that make you happy that aren't hurting anybody else. I don't see anything wrong with them usually. That's usually my barometer. Is it hurting somebody? Are you damaging anyone by doing this and causing anybody harm? James says kratom is a natural pain reliever. Okay, right on. So, but it helps people kick heroin. Right on. That's awesome. So it's natural. And Ginger says the guy at your work, 20-year-old. Oh, no, no, no. Not his fault. No, that's the way it is. Oh, yeah, yeah. No, that's the way it is. He's the boss. I like him. I'm not saying anything bad about him neither. But I got to go to the bathroom is all I'm saying. And it's real uncomfortable, you know, having to wait in adult situations. But you got to remind yourself, dude, I need this job. Like you're standing there and you're like, man, I'm really about to just lay this headset down and go. But you're like, dude, I kind of need this job. Like I'm kind of counting on that paycheck. James says I graduated high school before I was 17. Right on. There's a kid where I work who is in college and he's 16. He's going to be a nurse. It's amazing. Hey, Jack. Herbert says, does anyone else want Clinton to join the race just to pull behind Tulsi? You know, I really don't care what Clinton does. I could care less what Hillary Clinton does. I really could not care any less. She's a joke, and she may enter the race. I don't care if she does. I might enter the race at this point. Everybody's doing it. I want to be cool too. I like to do cool things. I like to be part of the group. Hey, Mike, is everybody just getting here, or is all your names just hitting my screen? Because the viewers didn't go up, but like 7 names just came across. And now Helen's come across. So, yeah, it don't mean nothing. Steve says relaxremedy.com sells kratom and ayahuasca? You didn't hear that from me. It was a joke, dude. Oh. I don't know what that's about either, but I am hilarious, so he's probably talking about something I said. Da, 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 da. Oh, the joke about Clinton. Yeah, no, don't take me seriously, Herbert. I get it. That's funny. That'd be neat to see her pull behind Tulsi. That's a big reason why I don't think she'll do it. I think that the message got through that we don't want her. She lost to Donald Trump. Think about how embarrassing what happened to Hillary Clinton is. Just for a second. She had the mass media behind her 100%. And she lost a rigged election. It was rigged in her favor. She lost it. How does that happen? That's a joke. Hillary's a joke. And again, I'm not suicidal. Okay? Something happens to me. I'm not suicidal. And I don't think Jeffrey Epstein was either. He definitely didn't kill himself. I don't know why I said that. Just because I guess it's important to say that every once in a while, just throw it in the conversation. Be like, hey, by the way, Epstein didn't kill himself. Even Assad has come out and said it. Herbert says Tulsi's lawyer sent her paper to resend comments. Really? Steve says don't boil ayahuasca. It'll ruin it. Ginger says you got a poll yesterday asking me if you wanted Hillary to run. Say yes. Yeah, totally. I totally want her to. Let these rich people throw all the money they got at it, because it's not going to be enough. It's not going to matter. Herbert says for defamation. Good. She should sue her. Tulsi should sue Hillary for defamation for sure. I would. I said it at the time that I wanted her to. Kathy says kratom is medicine. Not everyone reacts the same to it, and it can really be bad. Only way to know is to use it once. Don't really want to take that risk. Never done heroin for the same reason. So, well, now I kind of want to try kratom. I'm easily influenced. You see that? Man, I guess I just like trying stuff though. I'm open-minded to things. I want to explore my mind and open my mind up to new things. Especially if it's natural. I don't know if that's true. I'm gonna look into it, but I trust Kathy and James. They say it's natural and a medicine. So, Kanan, hey, you were here the other day. You commented on the Outer Spaces fake video. I'm glad to see you back. In regards to Hillary, gotta be really unlike to lose that one setup. Yeah, it was a rigged election. How do you lose a rigged election? The media was rigged in her favor. That's all proved in the WikiLeaks. That's why Julian Assange is sitting in that prison cell. Has nothing to do with anything what they're saying in these trumped up charges. The reason is because he shared truth that powerful people didn't want shared. WikiLeaks provided a platform for people to share information and get the truth out, place for whistleblowers to share the truth and expose these things. Kanan says, glad to be back. Keep telling that truth. I'm going to until I can't no more. And that's one of the things this feed is about trying to get to YouTube to 1,000 subscribers before the December 10th policy change, where they're going to reevaluate some channels, they say. And one of the categories that they're going to use to reevaluate the channels is whether or not they're monetized. You cannot be monetized under 1,000 subscribers. So it's been my goal ever since I started this channel to get to 1,000. I'd like to hit it before we get pulled, and hopefully we never do get pulled, but if we do, I would like to hit my goal first. So let's get it to 1,000. That's what this feed's about. That's what we're doing. If you're watching on Facebook, in the very first comment on this stream is my YouTube link to my YouTube channel. Go there, me on things and stuff, and subscribe. Share some videos from there. Get a friend to subscribe. I want to get it to 1,000. We're at 912, so we're really close. And there's 3 people watching on YouTube, but there's only 1 like. I can see that, by the way. A lot of times we forget to hit the like button, but interact. Hit those like buttons because that tells the computer that you like this. And then the computer goes, oh, maybe I should show it to more people. So it's a good way to trick the algorithm into thinking that I'm interesting by hitting the like button. Ginger says didn't answer it because I believe polling is attached to voter databases and it's a way to flip registrations. Interesting. May sound like a paranoid thought, but it's not. Steve says kratom is a plant. I received a sample from a website. I took it, but nothing happened that I noticed. I had a similar reaction to CBD when I first tried it, but I found out it was because I tried too low of a dose. And when I actually tried CBD flower, it was highly beneficial. And I noticed a real benefit from it. But James says kratom is imported. Big Pharma will shut it down. It's not grown locally in the United States. Herbert says, how does YouTube expect people to get 1,000 viewers if they delete people below 1,000? That's what I was saying earlier when I said it's like going to school and then getting out and you got a degree, but nobody wants to hire you because you don't have any experience. Like, how do you get experience without a job? It's like, same thing, you know? I don't know. And I don't know how much of that is, again, how much of that is just people trying to rile up people and fear propaganda and scare tactics. I'm sure they will shut some channels down, but am I on anyone's radar? And are they going to really pull me if I'm less than 1,000? I don't want to find out. So we got a little time, and we're not that far away. So I tagged like 50 people on Facebook. If we shared it and got it out there, I think we could get 80 subscribers to YouTube. 88 subscribers. That's all we need, and then we'd be at 1,000, and then I would be a monetized channel, and I'd be at least in the safe zone according to their policy. Never going to be in the safe zone, and I may not even get monetization by getting to 1,000 because they still got to approve it. And I never intended them to approve it. I never thought they would. It's why I do it crowdfunded. That's why I want to set up the crowdfunding and go through Patreon. But James says it's not a good climate for it here. No, and it's not anywhere though, James. I mean, where is a better place? I'm trying VK. Um, I'm looking for other streaming sites. My hero in this, William Cooper, did it on a shortwave radio, and he was able to take phone calls. And that was in the early 90s and the late 80s. So I'm sure I can do that today, something like that. And that might be what I do. That might be where this goes. I don't know where this will go, but I'm going to keep trying to spread the truth as much as I can and getting the truth out there. Because that's what I'm about. That's what I believe in. That's what I want to do, you know. But Herbert says to have a channel. Yeah. Ginger says, I wonder if YouTube will run a Hillary Clinton Seth Rich algorithm to take channels down. I can see it. Yes, it's a conspiracy. Yeah. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they do. The YouTube has come out and said that they are going to throttle and hold back anything they consider conspiratorial. And that's a wide web. Who makes the decision? Who decides what is and isn't conspiratorial? Well, the powers that be do. They get to pick and choose what gets taken down and what gets throttled. And they say they won't pull you. At least that was before this new policy. It used to be they wouldn't pull you, but they wouldn't support you neither. You wouldn't show up in any feeds. You wouldn't show up in suggestions. They wouldn't plug your video in any way. It would exist, but you'd have to find it. But Herbert says feds are shutting down the old radio system. Dude, is there no answer? What do we do? What do we do? We got to do something. I'm not going to accept the answer of we do nothing. We got to do something. We got to move this forward in some way. I'd hate to see them succeed in eliminating the truth and shutting it down. That would be awful. Is this feed staying consistent on Facebook? Because on the computer I can't load my comments. The phone's fine, but I haven't been like constantly watching, so I don't know if it's been glitching or freezing. But I think I've got the settings at least as good as I can get them on this computer because I've had a good experience on YouTube and I've had a good experience on Facebook other than my computer, which could just be my computer not being able to run the tab because the phone looks fine. But this feed has been to drive support to the YouTube channel and to give you guys an idea of what I do. It's kind of been a hybrid of a Yankee show where we just talk about anything. I've just been going off the comments. And I appreciate everyone that's hung out and talked because we've been talking for an hour and 15 minutes. I was hoping that this would be successful and do well and get out because I want to get the channel up to 1,000, and I wanted to talk to you guys. I wanted to hang out with you guys. It's been really hard with all these problems I've been having because I didn't get the interaction, and I like that. I like hanging out with you guys and talking and sharing information and sharing thoughts back and forth and exchanging ideas. It's fun with me. Ginger says, oddly, I didn't share your feed this time. She says it's perfect this time. You know what I did? I went into the optimization, the setting optimizer, and then um, I never even thought to look at this. I Googled it and I found out about low latency on streams. And I went and I set that up and changed that setting. Just tweaked a couple things. I've now exceeded my limits of my knowledge in computers because I used the little computer in my pocket and it told me what to do. But Steve says my parents were ham radio people, giant antennas and radio waves bouncing off the ionosphere. Oh, I just don't know what to do. I want to share the truth. This is what I want to do. I've decided this is what I want to do. So I want to make these shows. I want to share the truth. I want to spread the truth. And I realize it's not the popular thing to do, but I think it's what's important. And that's what I want to do. Kanan says, new to the channel, but have you done podcast like interviews? Yes, a few, not many. I am now paying for a service called Be Live where it allows me to do split screen interviews with people. And it's real user friendly and easy to use. So I've been doing some. So I did one with Ali French on mandatory vaccinations. I did one with Clinton Gordon that was just like a discussion. He's a Trump supporter and has different politics than me, but we were talking about unity and working together. Um, I also did an interview with Cindy Keener about Plum Island and Lyme disease. And then I did an interview with Roxy Love, who was a flat earther. She was on to talk about the flat earth. And I did an interview with Tyler because the Roxy Love interview crashed after an hour, went black. And we had scheduled to do a second stream to finish it out because we didn't get to finish our discussion. And she had to cancel last minute. So Tyler came in and at least gave us the opportunity to ask some of the viewers' questions. So yeah, we've done a few. I want to do more though. And Johnny's here. Hey Johnny. Kathy says my ex and I were Thursday and the Zinger Zapper. What is that? Thursday and the Zinger Zapper? You had a radio show? Is that what that is? Steve says you want the truth. Are you sure you can handle the truth? I'm gonna find out. I want to find out if I can handle spreading the truth. We'll see if I can survive it. I want to live on the edge. I want to be in the danger zone. You know. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for hanging out and sharing. Those of you that shared, and I really appreciate you hanging out with me and letting me hang out with you. Sharing your time with me, that means something to me. I appreciate it. And thank you for your support. Those of you that are supporting the shows, Kathy and Ginger, I really appreciate it. It means the world to me. It means so much more than even the money. It means that you believe in what I'm doing, and I appreciate that. And it makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. So thank you. And thanks to everyone who watches and supports and shares the shows. My phone just died. But this went well. I'm glad we had a decent stream. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. Neon Things and Stuff on YouTube. The link is the first comment in the Facebook feed. And YouTube, you guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel, James. And I'm glad to see you made it back, Kanan, and anyone else that was here. Anat, Herbert, thanks for coming. Thanks for participating and hanging out with me. I'll see you guys on the next feed. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers. Damn the man. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Thanks, guys. See you next time.